Hoseah 1. The word of the Lord that came from Hoseah, son of Bera, during the region of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and during the region of Jeroboam, son of Josiah, king of Israel. When the Lord began to speak through Hoseah, the Lord said to him, Go, take to yourself an adulterous wife and the children of unfaithfulness, because the land is guilty of the village's adultery in departing from the Lord. So he married Gomer, daughter of Deliban, and she conceived and bore him a son. Then the Lord said to Hoseah, Call him Jeres, because I will soon punish the house of Jael from the measure of Jerusalem, and I will put an end to the kingdom of Israel. In that day I will break Israel's bow in the belly of Jezreel. Gomer conceived again, and then gave birth to a daughter. Then the Lord said to Hoseah, Call her Lo-ruhamah, for I will no longer show love to the house of Israel, that I will should at all forgive them. Yet I will show love to the house of Judah, and I will save them, not by foe, sword or battle, or by horse and horseman, but by the Lord their God. After she had weaned Lo-ruhamah, Gomer had another son. Then the Lord said, Call him Lo-ammi, for you are not my people, and I am not your God. Yet these riches will be like the sand on the seashore, which cannot be measured or counted. In the place where it was said to them, You are not my people, and will be called the sons of the living God. The people of Judah and the people of Israel will be reunited, and then will come in, and they will appoint one leader, and will come out of the land, for great will be the day of Jeros. 2. Thus to your brother, my people, and of your sister, my loved one. Rebuke your mother, rebuke her, and for she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. Let her remove the adulterous look from her face, and the unfaithfulness from between her breasts. Otherwise I will stir her naked, and make her as bare as the day she was born. I will make her like a desert, turn her into a parched land, and slay her with dust. I will not show my love to her children, because they are the children of adultery. Their mother has been unfaithful and had conceived them in disgrace. She said, I will go after my lover, who gave me my food and my water, my wool and my linen, my oil and my drink. Therefore I will block her path with disturbance, and I will wall her in so that she cannot find her way. She will chase after her lovers, but not catch them. She will look for them, but not find them. Then she will say, I will go back to my husband as at birth. For then I will better off than now. She has not acknowledged that I was the one who gave her the grain, the new wine and oil, and lavished on her silver and gold, which they used for Baal. Therefore I will take away my grain when it ripens, and my new wine will wait when it is ready. I will take back my wool and my linen, intended to cover her nakedness. So now I will expose her leanness between the eyes of her lover. No one will take her out of my hands. I will stop all the celebration, yet yearly her festival, her new moons, her Sabbath day, all her appointed feasts. I will ruin her vines and her fig tree, which she said were to pay for her lovers. I will make them a ticket, and wild animals will devour them. I will punish her for the days she burned incense to the bells. She deceived herself with rings and jewelry, and went after her lovers, but me she forgot, declares the Lord. Therefore I am now going to allure her. I will lead her into the desert and speak tenderly to her. There I will give her back her vineyards, and will make the valley a Becher, and endure to door of hope. There she will sing as in the days of her youth, and in the day she came up out of Egypt. In that day, declares the Lord, you will call me my husband, you will no longer call me my master. I will remove the names of the bells from her lips. No longer will their name be rebuked. In that day I will make a convenience for them, with the beasts of the field and the birds of the air and the creatures that move along the ground. bow and sword and battle. I will abolish from the land, so that all may lie down in safety. I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you in righteousness and justice, in love and compassion. I will betroth you in unfaithfulness, and you will acknowledge the Lord. In that day I will respond, declares the Lord. I will respond to the skies, and they will respond to the earth. And the earth will respond to the grain and new wine and oil. And they will respond to Jezreel. I will plant her for myself in the land. I will show my love to one I called not my loved one. I will say to those called not my people, you are my people, and they will say, you are my God. 3. The Lord said to me, go, show your love to your wife again, and though she is loved by another and is adulterous, love her as the Lord loves the Israelites, though they turn to other gods and love the scared raisin cakes. So I bought her for 15 shekels of silver, and brought a homer and a lac above with me many days. You must not be a prostitute to be intimate with any man, and I will live with you. For the Israelites will live many days without a king or prince, without sacrifice or scared stone, without aphod or idol. Afterward the Israelites will return and seek the Lord their God and David their king. They will come trembling to the Lord and to his blessing in the last day. 4. Hear the word of the Lord, your Israelites, because the Lord has a charge of being against you who live in the land. There is no faithfulness, no love, no acknowledgement of God in the land. There is only crushing, lying and murder, stealing and adultery. They break all bones. And bloodshed followed bloodshed. Because of this the land mourns, and all who live in the waste away. The beasts of the field and the birds of the air and the fish of the sea are dying. But let no man bring a charge, let no man accuse another, for your people are like those who bring charges against the priest and stumble day and night. And the prophet stumble with you, so I will destroy your mother. My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I also reject you as my priest, because you have ignored the law of your God. I also will ignore your children. The more the priests increased, and the more they sin against me. They exchange their glory for something disgraceful. They feed on the sins of the people and relish their wickedness. And it will be like people, like priests. I will punish both of them for their ways, and repay them for their deeds. They will eat but not have enough, and will engage the prostitution but not increase, because they have deserted the Lord to give themselves to prostitution and the old wine and new, which take away the understanding of my people. They consult a wooden idol, and are answered by the stick of wood. A spirit of prostitute led them astray. They are unfaithful to their God. They sacrifice on the mountain tops and burn offerings on the hill. Under oak, popular of terebinth, with the shade are unpleasant. Therefore your daughters turn to prostitution, and your daughter-in-law to adulterer. I will not punish your daughters, and they turn to prostitution, nor your daughter-in-law when they commit adultery, because the men themselves consort with harlot, and sacrifice with sham prostitution, and people without understanding will come to ruin. Though you commit adultery, O Israel, let not Judah become guilty. Do not go to Gilead, do not go up to Beth-aven, and do not swear, as surely as the Lord lives. The Israelites are stubborn, like a stubborn heifer. How then can the Lord pasture them like lambs in the meadows? Ephraim is joined to idols, leave him alone. Even when their drinks are gone, they continue their prostitution. Their rulers dearly love shameful ways, and real land will sweep them away, and the sacrifice will bring them shame. 5. Hear this, your priests. Pay attention, you Israelites. Listen, O royal house. This judgment is against you. You have been a snare of mishap, and not a spirit out of terror. The rebels of deep in slaughter, I will discipline all of them. I know all about Ephraim. Israel is not hidden from me. Ephraim, you have not turned to prostitution. Israel is corrupt. Their deeds do not compete them and return to their gods. A spirit of prostitution is in their heart. They do not acknowledge the Lord. Israel's acknowledges testify against them. The Israelites, even Ephraim, stumble in their sins. Judah also stumbled with them when they go with their flocks and herds to seek the Lord. They will not bind him, he has withdrawn himself from them. They were unfaithful to the Lord and gave birth to illegitimate children. Now the new moon festival will devour them and their fields. Sound the trumpet in Geba, the horn of Ramas. Raise the battle cry in Beth Eben. Lead me, O Benjamin. Ephraim will be laid waste on the day of reckoning. Among the tribes of Israel, I proclaim what is certain. Judah's leaders are like those who boundary stones. I will pour out my wrath on them like a flood of water. Ephraim is oppressed, trample in judgment, intent on piercing idols. I am like a mote of Ephraim, like a wrath of the people of Judah, when Ephraim saw his sickness, and Judah his storm. The Ephraim turned to Asherah and sent to the great king for help. But he is not able to cure you, not able to heal your sores, for I will be like a lion of Ephraim, like a great lion of Judah. I will tear them to pieces and go away. I will carry them off, with no one to rescue them. Then I will go back to my place until they admit their guilt, and they will seek my face. In their misery they will certainly seek me. 6. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will hear us. He has injured us, and he will blind us of our wounds. After 2 days he will revive us. On the 3rd day he will restore us, that we may live in the presence. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us praise and acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like a winter rains, like spring rains that water the earth. What can I do with you, Ephraim? What can I do with you, Judah? Your love is like the morning mist, like the early dew that disappears. Therefore I cut you in pieces with my prophet. I killed you with the words of my mouth. My judgment flashed like lightning upon you, for I desire mercy, not sacrifice, and acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings. Like Adam, they have broken the covenant. They were unfaithful to me there. Gilead is a city of wicked men, and stained with the footprints of blood. As a mercenary lie in ambush for a man, so do bands of a priest. They murder on the road of the Shechem, committing shameful crimes. I have seen a horrible thing in the house of Israel. The Ephraim is given to prostitution, and Israel is defied. Also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed, whenever I would restore the fortress of my people. 7. Whenever I would hear Israel, the sin of Ephraim are exposed, and the crimes of Samaria revealed. They practice deceit, thieves break into the house. Bandits rob in the street, but they do not realize that I remember all their evil deeds. Their sins engulf them, they are always before me. They delight the king with their wickedness, the prince will with their lies. They are all darkness, burning like an oven, whose fire breakers need no stir. From the kneading of the dough, tear it rises. On the day of the festival of our king, the princess become inflamed with wine, and he joins hands with the mocker. Their hearts are like an oven, her approach with his intrigues, and passion smothers all night. In the morning it blazes like a flaming fire. All of them are hot as an oven, and there devour their rulers. All the kings fall. None of them calls on me. Ephraim mixes with the nation. Ephraim is a flat cake, not turned brown. Virgins sap his strength, and he does not realize it. His hair is sprinkled with gray, but he does not know this. Israel ignores testify against him, but despite all this, he does not return to the Lord his God or search for him. Ephraim is like a dove, easily deceived and senseless, now calling to Egypt. Now turning to Asherah, when they go, I will throw my net over them. I will pull them down like birds to the air. When I hear them flocking together, I will catch them. Woe to them, because they have stayed from me. Destruction to them, because they have rebelled against me. I long to redeem them, but they speak lies against me. They do not cry out to me that their hearts, but wail upon their breasts. They gather together for grain and new wine, and turn away from me. I train them and strengthen them, but they plot evil against me. They do not turn to the Most High. They are like a barley bough. Their leader will fall by the sword because of their insolent word, for there will be a ridiculous in the land of Egypt. 8. Put the trumpet to your lips. An eagle is over the house of the Lord, because the people have broken my covenant. They rebelled against my law. Israel cries out to me, O our God, we acknowledge you. But Israel has rejected what is good. An enemy will perish him. They set up kings without my consent, and they choose princes without my approval. With their silver and gold they make idols for themselves to their own destruction. Draw out your cup, idol, O Samaria. My anger burns against them. How long will they be incapable of purity? They are from Israel. The cap and craftsmen have made this. Is it not a god? It will be broken in pieces. That cups of Samaria. They sow the wind. The reap of whirlwind. The stock has no head. It will produce no flower, were it to yield grain. Persians will swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now she is among the nations like a water sting, for they have gone up to Asherah like a wild donkey wandering alone. Ephraim has sold herself to lovers, although they have sold themselves among the nations. I will now gather them all together. They will begin to waste away under the oppression of the mighty king. Though Ephraim built many altars for his sin offerings, they have become altars for sinning. I wrote for them the many things of my law, but they regarded them as something alien. They offer sacrifice given to me, and they eat the meat, but the Lord is not pleased with them. Now he will remember their wickedness and punish their sin. They will return to Egypt. Israel has forgotten his Maker and built palaces. Judah has fortified many towns, but I will send fire upon their cities that will consume their fortresses. 9. Do not rejoice, O Israel. Do not be jubilant like other nations. For you have been unfaithful to your God, and loved the wage of the prostitute as every threshing floor. Threshing floors and witness will not be fed to people. The new wine will fail them, they will not remain in the Lord's land. Ephraim will return to Egypt, and eat unclean food in Asherah. They will not pour out wine offering to the Lord, nor will the sacrifice please them. Such sacrifice will be to them like the bread of mourners. All who eat them will be unclean, and this food will be for themselves. It will not come into the temple of the Lord. What will you do on the day of your appointed feast? On the festival days of the Lord, even if they escape from destruction, Egypt will gather them, and the Meshach will bury them. Their treasure of silver will be taken over by burials, and thorns will overwhelm their tents. The days of the punishment are coming, and the days of reckoning are at hand. Let Israel know this, because your sins are so many and your hostility is so good. The prophet is considered a fool, and in his eyes a man a maniac. A prophet along with my God, in the watchman over Ephraim, yet a sinner await him on all his paths, and hostility in the house of his God. They have sunk deep into corruption, as in the day of Gibeah. God will remember their wickedness and punish them from their sin. When I found Israel, it was like finding grapes in the desert. When I saw your brothers, it was like seeing the early fruit on the fig tree. But when they came unto Baal-peor, they constructed themselves to what a shameful idol, and became as bar as the thing they loved. Ephraim girl, he will fly away like a bird, no pregnancy in the conception, even if they will children. I will breathe them to everyone, woe to them when I turn away from them. I have seen Ephraim like Tyre, planted in the pleasant place. But Ephraim will bring out their children to the slayer. Give them, O Lord, what will you give them? Give them wombs that are misery and breasts that are dry. Because of all the wickedness in Gilead, I hated them there, because of their sinful deeds. I will drive them out of my house. I will no longer love them. All their leaders are rebellious. Ephraim is blinded. Those root in the rootless, there yield no fruit. Even if they bear children, I will slay their treasured offerings. My God will reject them, because they have not obeyed him. There will be wanderers among the nations. 10. Israel was a spreading vine. He brought fruit for himself, and his fruit increased. He built more orchards. As his land prospered, as he adored and he scared stones, their heart is deceitful, and now they must bear their guilt. The Lord will demolish their altar and destroy their scared stones. Then they will say, We have no king because we did not revere the Lord, but even if we have the king, but what could he do for us? They make many promises, take false oaths, and make agreements. Therefore, lost to spring up like poisonous weed in the plowed field. The people who live in Samaria fear for the calf idol of Beth-aven. Its people will mourn over it, and so will its idols priests, those who have rejoiced over its splendor. Because it is taken from them into exile, it will be carried to Asherah as a tribute for the great king. Ephraim will be disgraced, Israel will be ashamed of its wooden idols. Samaria and its king will float away like a twig on the sacrifice of the water. The high places of wickedness will be destroyed, and it is the sin of Israel. Thorns and thistles will grow up and cover their altar, and they will say to the mountain, Cover us, and the hills fall on us. Since the day of Gibeah, you have sinned, O Israel, and there you have remained. Did not a war overtake the evildoers in Gibeah? When I please, I will punish them. A nation will be gathered against them, and to put them in bonds on their double sin. Ephraim is a trained helper and love of the dress, so I will put a yoke on her fair neck. I will drive Ephraim, Judah must plow, and Jacob must break up the ground. So burn yourself righteousness, reach the brood of unveiling love, and break up the uprooted ground. For it is time to seek the Lord until he comes and showers righteousness on you. But you have planted wickedness, you have reaped evil, you have eaten the bread of deception. Because you have depended on your own strength and on your many warriors, the roar of the battle will rise against your people, so that all your fortresses will be devastated, as Sherman devastated Beth-aven on the day of battle. When mother are dashed at the ground with their children, those will happen to you, O battle, because your wickedness is great. When that day dawns, the king of Israel will be completely destroyed. 11. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. But the more I called Israel, the farther they went from me. They sacrificed to the bells, and they buried incense to images. It was I who taught Ephraim to walk, tucking them by the arms, but they did not realize it was I who healed them. I led them the course of the human kindness with ties of love. I lifted the yoke from their neck and bent down to beat them. Will they not return to Egypt, and will not Asher rule over them, because they refuse to repent? Swords will flash in their cities, will destroy the bars of their gates, and put an end to their plans. My people are determined to turn from me, even if they call to the Most High. He will by no means exalt them. How can I give you up, Ephraim? How can I hand you over, Israel? How can I treat you like Amria, and how can I make you like Gibeon? My heart is changed within me, all my compassion is aroused. I will not carry out my fierce anger, nor will I turn and devastate Ephraim. For I am God and not a man, the Holy One among you. I will not come in wrath. They will follow the Lord. He will roar like a lion. When he rolls, his children will come trembling from the wrath. They will come trembling, the birds from Egypt, like doves from Asherah. I will settle them in their homes, declares the Lord. Ephraim has surrounded me with lies, and the houses of Israel with deceit, and Judah is unwilling against God, even against the faithful Holy One. 12. Ephraim feasts on the wind. He pursues the east wind all day and multiplies lies and violence. He makes a treaty with Asherah and sends olive oil to Egypt. The Lord has a charge to bring against Judah. He will punish Jacob according to his ways, and repays him according to his deeds. In the womb he grabs his brother's heel. As a man he struggled with God, he struggled with the angel and overcame him. He wept and begged for his favor. He found him at a battle, and taken with them the Lord God Almighty. The Lord is his name and renown. But you must return to your God, maintain love and justice, and wait for your God always. The merchant uses dishonest skills. He loves to defraud. Ephraim boasts, I am very rich. I have become wealthy. With all your wealth they will not find me, and in quantity or sin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. I will make you live in the tents again. As in the days of the appointed beast, I spoke to the prophet, gave them many visions, and told parables to them. In Gilead wicked, its people are worthless. Do they sacrifice bulls in Gilead? Their altars will be like piles of stones on the plowed field. Jacob led the country of Aram. Israel served to get a wife, and to pay for her he tended sheep. The Lord uses a prophet to bring Israel out from Egypt. By the prophet he cared for him. But Ephraim has bitterly provoked him to anger. His Lord will leave upon him in the guilt of his bloodshed, and will repay for him in contempt. 13. When Ephraim spoke, man trembled. He was exalted in Israel. But he became guilty of Ephraim, worship, and died. Now then sin more and more. They make idols for themselves from their shiver, cleverly fashioned images, all of them the work of craftsmen. It is said to these people, they offer human sacrifice in case of kelped idols. Therefore they will be like the morning mist, like the early dew that disappears, like hope swelling from a threshing floor, like smoke escaping through a window. But I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt. You shall acknowledge no God but me, no Savior except me. I cared for you in the desert, in the land of burning heat. When I fed them, they were satisfied. When they were satisfied, they became proud. Then they forgot me. So I will come upon them like a lion, like a leopard I will lurk by the path, like a bear robbed by her cub. I will attack them and rip them open. Like a lion I will devour them, a wild animal will tear them apart. You are destroyed, O Israel, because you are against me, against your helper. Where is your king, and that he may save you? Where are your rulers in all your town, or whom you said, give me a king and princess? So in my anger I gave you a king. In my wrath I took him away. The guilt of Ephraim is stored up. Her sins are kept on record. Pains has the woman of the childbirth, and to him, but he is a child without wisdom. When the time arrives, he does not come to the opening of the womb. I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. Where, O death, are your pledges? Where, O grave, is your destruction? I will have no compassion, even though he drives among his brothers. An east wind from the Lord will come, blowing in from the desert. His spring will fall, and his well dry up. His storehouse will be plundered of all his treasuries. The people of Samaria must bear their guilt, because they have rebelled against their God. They will fall by the sword. Their little ones will be dashed to the ground, their pregnant women ripped open. 14. Return, O Israel, to the Lord your God. Your sins have been your downfall. Take words with you, and return to the Lord. Say to him, forgive all your sins, and receive us graciously, and we may offer the fruit of our lips. Asherah cannot save us. We will not mount war horses. We will never again say our gods to what our own hands have made. For in the wilderness find compassion. I will hear their wayward and will love them freely, for my anger has turned away from them. I will be like the dew of Israel. He will blossom like a lily, like a cedar of Lebanon. He will send down his roots. His young shoot will grow. His splendor will be like an olive tree. His fragrance like a cedar of Lebanon. Man will dwell again in his shade. He will flourish like a grain. He will blossom like a vine, and his fame will be like the wine from Lebanon. O Ephraim, what more have I to do with idols? I will answer him and care for him. I am like a green pine tree. Your fruitfulness comes from me. Who is wise? He will realize these things. Who is discerning? He will understand them. The ways of the Lord are right. The righteous walk in them, but the rebellious stumble in them.